So here's the breakdown of a 24-hour day for me. Okay. Here is a 24-hour period. So we have one 8-hour period is work. Non-negotiable, cannot move. Okay, this is supposed to be sleep. Right here is the remainder. So I probably put in about 3 hours a day on the YouTube channel. That's either shooting with the camera or editing on the iMac. The upcoming podcast which would take about 1 hour of prep per day, because you got to research current events to know that you're on topic with everything. 4 hours left, right? That's the remainder. Well, subtract 1 hour for lunch, because even though I'm at work for 8 hours, that doesn't count the lunch break. I'm actually there 9 hours and I get a 1 hour lunch break because it's 8 to 5, which is 9 hours. There's the commute to work, which is at least 15 minutes each way. So that leaves 2.5 hours. So the struggle I'm having is that in a 24-hour period, I have 2.5 hours of quality time with my family, which is causing some stress. So the only solution to this that I can think of is let us start trimming off of sleep and adding that into the quality time, turning this into 7 hours of sleep. And this becomes QT, leaving us with 3.5 hours of quality time. Mathematically, this works out. I just have to put it into practice and see if realistically that's the way it is. Oh, man alive. This happens all the time. If you have any input in the matter, feel free to comment. If you have any questions, if you want to check my math, I feel like the math is correct. But go ahead and comment below. Carefree Deeply. Back to work. Back to work. Here we go. I feel just a little bit bad for the cat. Ever since I had her chasing that laser pointer, she's been like super on edge, trying to find the little red dot that somehow got into our house. Speaking of baseball, how about them Cubbies, huh? Game 7 tonight. For certain things in this world, you can go and be be late to work for a few things in this world, and just a very few things. One of those things is Game 7 of the World Series. I'll argue anyone on that point. You can absolutely be late for work the next day. The Monday after Super Bowl is another one. And an out-of-town funeral for a family member. But that's it. Those are the only acceptable ones. I have one coworker that went to Game 4 of the World Series in Chicago. I was super jealous. Super jealous. There was a game I went to with my dad when I was very young, and I'll have to ask him if it was a playoff game or a World Series game, but we went to see the Twins when I was young, and that makes me feel like it was a World Series game, or at the very least a playoff game, because It would have been right around 1992. Like, I probably would have been like 6 years old. Because I remember it, but not super well. And I remember we stayed in a hotel room that night, and he took all of the change out of his pocket and put it on the nightstand, and I stacked it into like change towers. He says that I was like begging for cotton candy, and so he was like, fine, I'll get you some cotton candy. And so he was watching where the vendors were. He would go out into the area where you walk around the concourse, and then he would head down the stairs where he saw the cotton candy guy, and then he'd be in another section. So then he would go back up, go try and find him again, and he said he walked around half the stadium just to get me cotton candy. Which proves right there that my dad loves me. 90-minute parking, that's all I need. Whew. Alright, that was a challenge. Alright, we'll see you guys after lunch. I just realized while editing this one that the only thing I did after lunch was the drive home time lapse at the beginning of this video. You see, the first part of it was actually the end. And I don't want to go back and re-edit everything to make that look like the end, so I'm going to leave that as the beginning, a little time warpy. And now, bless you. Bless you. Now that we're at the next day, more than 24 hours later, I'll just say the Cubs won, and it was great. It was the best Game 7 I've ever seen. Very entertaining. And that's all I got. Good job, Cubs. Bye, Michelle.